This is Dave Haynes. Let me switch over to the video here. I'm trying something a little bit new today. No bull, as you can see, just me by myself. And doing a Beat Cops Guide, sort of a small background video, and see how it works out. I'll be uploading it to Jeremiah Creek as well, but this is a Beat Cops Guide podcast because what I wanted to talk about was on Friday mornings on WGN AM 720, I do restaurant reviews for Bob Surratt's radio show. And I thought I would, every week they send me the audio and I can forward it to the restaurants or the bakeries that I review. And I thought I would play that audio, do a little background, and talk about what else was going on behind the scenes, sort of an expanded version of what gets on the radio, because the radio, it's a half an hour, there's 2 segments. Basically, it's 11 minutes each segment, so we kind of zoom through what the information we have. Not that much is left out of the reviews, the actual reviews, because I write my notes and I kind of keep to the time. So it's more often that I run out of things to say than I leave things out that I wanted to say. But there's always a little bit of stuff. I mean, one of the things is people ask me about where I do the reviews. I actually go into the studio, so I get up, I drive down there. If I'm reviewing a bakery, if I'm bringing something in like donuts and the bakery's open early in the morning, then I'll get up and earlier and get some donuts and get down there. But I generally get down there about 5:30, 5:45, hang out. Bob Surratt show starts at 6. He's got like a 10-minute intro, and then they do a few things for the first half hour, and then at 6:30 after the news, I come on. So the news starts right at 6:30. Generally, it goes about 7 minutes, including commercials and everything else. So then we come out about 6:37. Then they have to do another commercial break, and the way we have it set up is we do a restaurant first, and we do something sweet, bakery. I try to find some sort of like dinner and dessert is the way I look at it. So I try to find a bakery or a ice cream place or chocolate shop or something else that I can talk about for the second half. So why don't I play this morning's review? So this is September 29th, 2023. I will play this morning's review, and then I'll see if there was anything that I left out, and then if anybody wants to send questions or whatever to beatcopsguide@gmail.com, I'll answer them. So let's see how this works.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city, Chicago, Friday, September 29th. It was nice out. I was working the early shift at WGN. My name is Surratt. My partner is retired Chicago Police Lieutenant David Haynes. More than 3 million people live in the city. When they get hungry, we go to work. Good morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning. I was listening to the first half hour. It's like sports teams are dead. The Signature Room is dead. Romance is dead.
Romance is not dead.
Pretty soon you'll be able to shovel snow, so don't worry about it.
Well, aren't you Mr. Happy this morning?
Hey, if you got engaged at the Signature Room, but you haven't gotten married yet, now that it's closed, is that sort of have to make you rethink your choices?
You just have to, pick another spot to return, to rekindle all those feelings you had way back when. All right, let's talk about the Chicago Pickle Eatery. Never heard of this place.
Well, it's because it's new. Chicago Pickle Eatery. Yeah, it was actually, I saw it one day on the way home from doing here, from the studio here, and it's at 3055 North Milwaukee Avenue Avenue, and it's one of those cases that I know make me sound very shallow, but they have a great sign, and I saw it. I was like, well, I got to check that place out, and.
Well, you're an investigator. It doesn't make you shallow.
They just opened up about a month ago. I talked to Khalid, the owner, who moved here from upstate New York. He's been here about a year, and he opened Chicago Pickle about a month ago. It does have a sort of a New York City bodega feel, although it's much cleaner than any bodega I've ever been in New York City. So they have a large menu of sandwiches, burgers, and stuff, but they also have groceries. Your basic stuff that you can pick up. If you just need to get some pop or water, or, basic stuff. And so it was a very nice place. I had a steak and cheese sandwich, which was really good. And I don't know if this is just Khalid's work ethic or if it's because it's new and he's trying to. They were very, very. Friendly and nice, and they were explaining to me I had a steak and cheese sandwich, and the bread was very fresh. Steak was cooked perfectly, and they had this sauce, which he said was a big thing in New York. I'm sorry, I didn't write down the name of it, so now I can't remember it.
What kind of sauce?
Well, it was kind of, to me, it was like a sort of a French dressing mixed with stuff, but it was really good. And you put it on the steak and cheese, and it was very good.
And now, if you order pop there, you won't know what you're talking about. You have to say soda if you want a soft drink, right?
I should have asked that. Yeah,
in New York. Yeah. What else on the menu here?
Well, they have fries, and fries are usually just an afterthought, but their fries were very nice and crispy, and they came several different ways. I had the garlic seasoned fries, and I haven't had good garlic seasoning fries since Big Guy Sausage closed down in Berwyn, so I was happy to find a replacement. I love garlic fries.
Yeah, me too. You know what? A lot of places have the truffle fries.
Yeah.
I don't like those.
To me, it just seems like oil. I don't taste anything.
Or the cheese fries. I'm not big on that either. Garlic, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's very good. I do like cheese. I think good cheese fries too.
So burgers and subs, the specialty here?
Yeah, so they have full submarine sandwich. And they have burgers, and they also have breakfast sandwiches were really good. And it's right there on Belmont Avenue. So there was a few places like the schools down the street or some training center. I can't remember the name of it. So there's a lot of people around, but they moved pretty fast, and there was a few people there getting stuff, but the service was fantastic and the food tasted great.
So breakfast sandwiches, so they're open in the morning, huh?
Yeah. So they open up in the morning and they have bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches and stuff. It was really
good to know about this new place, Chicago Pickle Eatery, 3055 North Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago. All right.
And Khalid is looking for new customers. So if you go in there, tell him you heard about it here. So
and will you get a free pickle?
I might. I don't know.
After the break, we'll get to where these luscious looking coffee cakes came from. Are those coffee cakes?
Those are coffee cakes, yeah.
Wow.
It's a trip down memory lane for me.
All right, that's next. It's our Friday Food Police Report from Lieutenant David Haynes. And tell us about this bakery.
Well, okay. I went to a bakery, and actually it was, I think this is a recommendation from Andy Mazer, believe it or not.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. But I went to Rudy's Bakery at 2038 West Roscoe, which has been a bakery since I was a very small child. When I walked into the place, I was like having flashbacks. It was the first place where me and my sisters were sent to a long walk from my house to when we were kids. Sunday mornings after church for a treat, we can get coffee cakes. So I brought some coffee cakes on.
Yeah, they look great too. So this place, did it look the same?
It looked exactly the same. I mean, to the point of the front of the place, I don't think it's been painted since I was a kid. But so it's very old and it's dated and. But I talked to Rudy, the owner. He was a very nice old guy. And I actually had meant to talk about this place a few months ago because Retro on Roscoe is my favorite street fair, but I missed it that week. I don't know why.
Roscoe Village is a cute area, isn't it?
It's beautiful. You can walk around. It's basically from Damon to Western on Roscoe. Has all kinds of little shops, little nice little restaurants, and it's a great place to walk around. Everybody has a dog, which which was a little strange. They're all like 20 somethings. And they all walking their dogs. There's a million dogs out there if you want to.
And Rudy's Bakery, do you know Rudy? Is there a Rudy?
There is a Rudy. I met Rudy. He's like a very nice old guy who obviously has been doing this a long time. And he answered the phone when I called, and he's the one that took care of me when I went in there. I didn't see any other employees other than Rudy. So I don't know if I don't who knows with COVID. Maybe he is really just a one-man show, or maybe they were just off today.
Was he there back in the day when you used to go there?
I don't think so, because I asked him. It used to be called Hex when I was a kid. And so if anybody grew up around North Center, if you remember Hex Bakery, this is a place that used to be Hex Bakery.
All right. So besides these lovely coffee cakes, so what do you like there?
Well, they have. I also had to get what I used to get when I was a little kid was the big butter cookies. They look like a big swirl butter cookies, not the little ones with all the decorations on them. I mean, just straight big butter cookies. I got one of those. And
Old school, yeah.
They have bakery donuts and sweet rolls, which are the same as coffee cakes, but for one person. So I brought in the apricot coffee cake, which is my favorite coffee cake, and then pecan, which is apparently on Google reviews their favorite. So
yeah, sounds good. Looks good.
Very good. Yeah, and what else they have? They have ice. They do have the cookies with the icing on them for the little kids and stuff. If you bring kids in there.
And so, can you sit down there and eat in the place?
No, it's a takeout. It's a takeout place. Only they didn't have any tables. But like I said, if you're walking down the street, there's coffee shop not far away that you can sit down and coffee and eat your pastry. So as long as we have a nice weekend coming up, and we have very few of these nice weekends left, if you want to go walk around the neighborhood, it's a great place to walk around.
I'm glad you had a nostalgic visit to Rudy's Bakery, 2038 West Roscoe.
It's hard to believe. It looked exactly the same as when I was a kid.
Where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up in Lincoln and Damon. Lincoln and Grace were Damon. And nice place. Nice place to grow up. When I grew up, there's the railroad tracks, the Ravenswood line runs going towards Wrigley Field, right? That was the bad neighborhood. Between my house and Wrigley Field was the bad neighborhood, and we used to walk through there to go to Cubs games. But now it's all $1 million houses and stuff.
Well, you guys, I mean, who knows neighborhoods better than Chicago police officers? Yeah. Firemen, are they as knowledgeable?
No, they only know their own neighborhoods and where the best shopping is to buy food for their I suppose garbage men, but police officers know their neighborhoods. They have to drive around all day.
Yeah,
look at them
for sure. News coming up at the top of the hour from the Northwestern Medicine Newsroom. First, we have restaurant news, and I guess the big story today is about, well, it's not called the Hancock anymore, but the restaurant on top of 875 North Michigan Avenue.
Why is it called the Hancock? I heard that when that was the first time I've ever heard them say it's not called the Hancock anymore.
Well, I forgot. I guess it's because those offices moved out of the building. So, you got to, now it's just called by the address, but nobody calls it that.
Right.
It's the Hancock building.
Why don't we change the name? Could we call it the Surratt building?
That's a good idea. Did you ever go to the Signature Room?
I have not. No, that's not my speed. Actually, I think I did go there for a drink many, many years ago, like on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you had to go for a special occasion.
Yeah, and
that's when you went.
You're lining up at the elevator to get up there, and and then you're there and you're spending $25 for a beer. I don't know. It was not my speed.
There is a big pizza news today, isn't there? Oh, actually, this week it was announced.
Yeah, there's a group called 50 Top Pizzas, which for some reason rates the top 100 pizzas in the world.
Yeah, they're based in Italy.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a bad translation of their name. 50 Top Pizzas, but they have the 100 best pizzas. And Spacca Napoli at 1769 West Sunnyside was voted one of the top pizzas in the world. And we've talked about him before. Jonathan Goldsmith, who is the owner there, is insane about the pizzas. I mean,
He cares, is what you're saying,
yeah,
right?
he really cares very much. And it was like the first time I met him was because he was doing some kind of charity work, left his door unlocked, and so we had to secure his door until he came back. And when I was working as a police officer, 19, and he took us on a tour of the kitchen and showed us his Buffalo's mozzarella that he got imported from Italy. He went to Italy to find the best mozzarella, and I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean, he opened in 2006, only pizzeria from Illinois on that list.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out, 1769 West Sunnyside.
Great pizza, and man, it's been done in 9-10 minutes. He does it right in wood fired. It's great pizza.
I bet you enjoyed the police call to that location.
It was fun. Yeah, well, by the time we found him, he didn't have any pizza for us. But I went back there. And enjoyed it.
Good job. See you next week.
All right.
Hey, let's be careful out here.
All right. So let me switch back here. All right. So that's the review. That's the review I did today. And as far as the restaurants go, there's not much more to say. It was interesting talking about Spacca Napoli, which, by the way, I heard I mispronounced because I said Spacca Napoli. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there. But the Spacca Napoli was voted one of the best pizzas in the world by this whatever organization, and it was fun talking about that because I've been there many times. Reviewed it years ago. But it's a great restaurant. The guy really is into making pizza, trying to find the best of all the ingredients, and so it's a good pizza. It's kind of floppy pizza. It's wood fired, thin crust. Only I think when I was there, it was only one size. It's so you can order like basically ordering your own pizza for each person, or you can share them or whatever. But I mean, not for a kid, but for an adult, I think they're about 10 inches, 12 inches. They're not real big, and they don't have a whole bunch of different sizes. It's basically all the same. But that was interesting. And what else? We were making jokes in the beginning about the signature room because prior to my coming on there, they had discussed the fact that the signature room closed abruptly this past weekend, and financial troubles. And if you're not from Chicago and you don't know what the signature room is, it's a restaurant at the top of the Hancock building, and it is the 95th floor, and it's a place where a lot of people go for romantic dinners. Usually, like a lot of people would take their girlfriends there to ask them to marry them, or February 14th, or Valentine's Day. I don't know why Valentine's Day, stuff like that. They did have a full menu, but like I said, during the interview, the only time I went there was for a drink for I think Valentine's Day. Let me think. Did anything else we talk about that? It was interesting. I got caught up a little bit because I got caught by surprise when he asked me like where I grew up. So I grew up like Lincoln and Grace, and what I was trying to say was the railroad just to the east of me was like we were living just past on the good side of the tracks. The other side of the tracks when I was a kid was a fairly bad neighborhood. Fairly bad in the sense that gangs back in the 70s and the 80s were like you get beat up, not like gangs are today. We didn't have drug dealers all over the place, but it was considered a bad neighborhood when I was growing up, and now it is one of the high-end neighborhoods in Chicago. So yeah. All right, so I'm just trying this new little format to do these brief videos. If you watch it, let me know what you think. If you're watching it on Jeremiah Creek, eventually this is only going to be on B Cop's Guide. Bull and I are switching over and doing a new Jeremiah Creek podcast that will be the both of us. But either way, like, subscribe, let us know what you think. All right, thank you.